Hey again everyone, this is going to be the next part of the series. In the last part all we did was the outset island stuff, like get the sword, the shield, a bunch of rupees for the sail, and then we saved the game when we got to the boat. In this section we're going to do Nico's minigame, which we're doing right now, and we're going to do Forsaken Fortress. You saw me rolling against that ledge there and then falling straight underneath it. To do that, all you have to do is roll towards it and then release the analog stick before he gets to it. This will make Link grab the ledge, and if you press A after that, he'll fall down, and he'll already be facing the right direction, so that's a cool little time saver. It's quicker than like jumping off the ledge then turning around. So this game that we're about to do is pretty easy. You have to do a similar one later on, which is a lot harder. There's not really a lot of strategy to this one. You're pretty much going to just do the same thing that he's doing right now. It takes him a long time to get off of that rope because of how slow the text is here. He gets off of it a lot quicker in Japanese. What's frustrating about this is that although it is easy, sometimes you can go a little too fast and screw it up. And like it's right after the start of the game, so it's nothing but cutscenes before it. If it happens in a run, it's kind of hard to decide what to do. So you saw me just doing a side hop there, then rolling straight off the ledge and grabbing them. What to do is when you're in the air after jumping off of a rope, let go of the analog stick. This will cause it to recalibrate when you land. Sometimes it gets a little glitchy if you don't do this, and Link will move in a direction that you don't expect him to if you try to move him after he lands, especially if you're changing the camera in the air. So it's always a good idea to release the analog stick after you jump off the rope and just, you know, start holding it again whenever you want before he lands. So that was pretty easy. The game's done now. And we've got the spoils bag. Not the spoils bag. Wait, yeah, that is the spoils bag. It's the bait bag that we don't get. But yeah, this is completely useless in the run. We don't need it at all except for to get the cutscene upstairs to happen. So we're going to do a save warp here. Again, just pause, press R and save. Then reset by holding XB and start until the screen fades to black. So we're just going to climb up this ladder and talk to Tetra. Anyone that's watched the original iteration of this series is probably really bored right now. I think I'm probably saying the same kind of things that I said before. But, oh well. There are a few things that I want to cover in Forsaken Fortress which I didn't do the last time. A few new strategies that I feel need mentioned. This is where we're going. We're going to come back here later in the game too. The way we get into the Forsaken Fortress the second time is actually really interesting. We're going to do a Wind Waker dive through the water and actually swim underneath the place to get inside. But we'll deal with that when we get there. That's the place where we're going to sidle along. This dungeon, when you're playing the game for the first time, feels like a real chore. I think it was a bad design decision to put it this early in the game. I remember the first time I played the game, I really didn't want to continue for a little while when I got to this place. I love that it takes Link a second to realise that he's in the barrel. It's something else, again, that would never happen in another Zelda game. Makes you appreciate the graphical style a bit. But yeah, Forsaken Fortress is not really a pleasant place, even when you're just playing the game normally. But the good thing about speedrunning it is that the route that you have to take is actually really short, and that's something that you don't realise when you're playing this game at first, because there's a lot of the dungeon that's actually useless. There's only a few rooms that you actually have to go through. But no one's going to know this on their first playthrough, which is why this place is so frustrating. So yeah, there's no way he should have survived that. Thanks, cell shading graphics. So when we get out of the water, we're going to hold upright. Just hold that direction and roll if you want to. This will put him into the trigger as quickly as possible. There's another part in this place where Tetra tries to talk to you with this stone again, and as long as you don't press A during it, you can skip it. That actually happens later on too, in Tower of the Gods. So we're just going to roll straight up here while getting stuck. It doesn't matter if that happens because you have to wait when you get up here anyway, unless you want to be risky and try and beat that searchlight, which isn't that hard to do, but if you're just learning the game I wouldn't recommend it. Now in the last version of this series, I told you guys to come up here, align yourself with this wall, and then roll off here and land in that window. And that trick is actually harder than I made it seem, which I've always regretted, and since then someone's actually found a quicker way, well not quicker but like easier, a lot safer, and it doesn't really cost much time, it costs maybe 3 seconds to do it. If you come up here and align Link with this black line, or like just to the right of it maybe, what you're going to do is you're going to back walk off, which is done by holding L and just moving backwards, and when he's on his way down, start holding forward and you'll see what happens. He grabs the ledge below and it's completely foolproof, as long as you're not too far to the left or obviously too far to the right. And this window's pretty big, so it's quite easy to do. Anyway, when you get down here, just roll through here, don't press A when you're in this like outside area because Tetra will talk to you. I just want to make another point about the window jump. If you fail it, it costs like 20 seconds or something, which is a ridiculous amount of time, and it's impossible almost to fail this method. So what I've done here is I've alerted the guy, I rolled past him, and that shouldn't actually have happened. He shouldn't have attacked me. If I was quicker, he would have followed me over to the pot, which is what I want to happen. Hopefully he's going to do that now. You want him to hit Link and the pot at the same time. Just spin attack to get rid of him. He's the only searchlight guy that you have to kill. The reason for that is that his searchlight points at the section where you're going to sidle, and we can't skip that section, so he has to die. In this room, just jumping straight across. If you're not comfortable with doing that quickly, just take a minute and align him up. It's not worth falling down over, and I used to have a lot of problems with that. You can actually roll straight forward here, like holding straight forward on the analog stick, and he won't bonk against that block. He'll just clip right to the left of it, which is kind of cool. Alright, this room is the scariest room ever. You're going to roll, pick up the barrel and put it down right away. You need to be quick. After this we're going to roll here. I'm just going to roll straight past this guy. Now, I got past him with no problems there. Sometimes he will turn around, and if he does turn around and it's like right as you're turning that last corner, you want to get behind the banister for the steps and just wait there. And what will happen then is that he'll stop seeing you. Sometimes he turns even earlier, and if that happens you want to run behind him at the other side and just wait for him. He doesn't take that long. And the reason that this is all possible is when you take the barrel off, the game still acts as if you have it on for a short while. Like right now, you'd think he'd be able to see me, but he couldn't. What I did there was I got his attention, waited till he turned his head fully to the right. It's important that you wait until he turns it fully, and then took it off and just ran. It is actually possible to do a similar thing to that big room right there, where you take the barrel off shortly after putting it on and the moblin can't see you, but I feel like that's a bit risky, and it doesn't always work. It's kind of based on how the moblin is behaving before you do it. If you guys want to like mess around with that and decide if you want to do it, that's up to you, but I wouldn't suggest it. So I was quick sidling there, which is where you kind of alternate the stick between left and centre really quickly. It saves a little bit of time if done well. Holding L there before the cutscene starts makes the camera be behind Link. 3, 4, 5, spin attack. Gets rid of him quickly. But yeah, like I was saying about holding L, if you hold L and up, he'll basically run forward right away. Without the camera getting in your way, because it's at quite a bad angle when that cutscene starts. Or when that cutscene ends, rather. But yeah. Now for a pretty long cutscene. With no text actually, so this is a good point in the run to go and grab a drink or something. There's a few places like that in the run, but the next one isn't for a little while, so I would use this one if you could. I think the other ones are before Tower of the Gods and before the Earth Temple. There's also little ones after the Earth Temple and Wind Temple, but they're not as long. There's also one after Forsaken Fortress too. These are all pretty spaced apart though. We'll come back and deal with this guy later. This guy that's just taken us. Like he's horrified. Link's already seen his face, I wonder why the game doesn't show it. So yeah, here's another thing he should never survive, but well, he does. And there's actually an extra cutscene that's playing right now where we see Link in the water and being picked up by the boat. This is actually only in the English version of the game. The Japanese version doesn't have this cutscene, it just jumps straight to Windfall. My guess was always that the people that made this game thought that us stupid Westerners wouldn't be able to make the connection. Oh well. That might also explain why the text is slowed down. It's not just that the Japanese letters contain more information or whatever per character, it actually scrolls quicker than the English text. So I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty much going to be the end of this video. As soon as this cutscene ends, I'm going to stop it for there. There's not really a lot to say. Forsaken Fortress 1 can kind of be stressful if you're doing the window jump. I would really suggest not doing that unless you're like 100% confident at it. If you want to know how to do it, check the last version of this series, part 2, and you'll see what I said there. Like, it's not an impossible trick, but in my opinion it's quite easy to mess up. Like, I feel like a lot of the times where I've tried to do it, I have been perfectly aligned and I've still not made it. I feel like your speed when you leave the end of the platform is actually the most important factor, and sometimes if you don't do a perfect roll, you're not going to have enough speed. And falling down costs, as I said, like 20 seconds or so. It's really not worth it in my opinion. Just do the safe strat. Take the 3-second loss and continue your run. So the boat actually got to Windfall without a sail, which is pretty remarkable. I don't know where Link landed in the ocean, but it certainly wasn't at Windfall. I know you can do that thing where the boat moves slowly when you hold R or whatever, but that is really slow. That must have taken a long time to get here. Anyway, I think we're done with this video. As soon as this text box goes away, I'm gonna save the game. And in the next part we are going to get the sail and get to the first dungeon. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Next part is going to come up in a few days. Something else I'd like to say. Recently I've been streaming full games of this speedrun. Full speedruns of this game. Wow, that was a mistake. On Twitch TV. I'm going to post a link to that as an annotation right now, and also at the start of the video and in the description. You guys should really take a minute to make an account there and follow me, because I feel like if you're watching this video you have some interest in running the Wind Waker. And yeah, I actually recently just got the world record in the tunerless category for Japanese, and I'm trying to beat that again right now. So I would love it if you guys, you know, went over there, made an account, followed me, and watched me doing this. I'm probably going to stream tomorrow on Sunday or on Monday, and probably a few other times during the week. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.